you to get 2 tennis balls and a sock possibly left over from your dryer, and we're going to find a little workout for it in the meantime until we find that match. So today we are going to be going over trigger point therapy that you can do using this specific modality. If you look up trigger point therapy, I think they are based out of Durham, and I hurt my back in 2012 or 2013, and I had been in the fitness industry for a long time and had been wearing high heel shoes, and as we do that, our heels are up and we kind of bend over. So when I actually was in the gym and I had my heels down and I'm spotting my client, my back went out. Now, my back had gone out because I had a tight soleus and a tight psoas. It had nothing to do with my back. And I ended up getting certified at a convention when I went down to Atlanta because I had been there a few years prior to it, and somebody was out there in the little area where they're selling all the fitness equipment and the clothes, and I bought one of these kits, and at the time it came with a few other little parts, and those parts were probably about $180. They don't make that specific kit. They actually have specific a la carte pieces of equipment, and you can create your own little kit. But I can't afford that for everybody, but what I can afford is a canister of tennis balls. Tennis balls also are a little bit more squishy than some of the modalities that we find. This is similar to what you see with the foam roller. Has anybody seen the foam roller? The big long thing, all right, and we roll on our back with it, okay? Well, the reason that that probably doesn't feel as impactful as these is because the foam roller is taking up as much space as the circumference of your hand. So if I am rubbing my body like this, that's going to feel a lot better than if I took my knuckle and I'm going like that, right? So this is kind of like using the knuckles, going just a little bit deeper, okay? And this is a lot cheaper than spending a bunch of money on a piece of equipment that you may not even use. It actually took me, I think, a year or two before I actually used the equipment that I got certified in later when I hurt my back. Because every couple of years as a personal trainer and group fitness instructor, you have to get other certifications and continuing education credits so that we can keep. And so that's when I got certified in this. So, what else was I going to say about the tennis balls? Oh, yeah. When you're rolling in certain spots, when you have the foam roller and you're rolling on your spine, that's not so good because you're rolling on a bone, and we really need to be focusing on our muscles itself. So when we are on our back, we can take these tennis balls and they go on either side of our back versus rolling flat on the foam roller, okay? So what we are going to do is we are going to start with the lower extremities first. We are going to start with the soleus. So the soleus is right under the part where the calf is. So if I pull my pants leg up to where my calf is, and I'm going to stick the tennis ball there. So I invite you, we're all going to try this together, okay? And we are going to cross that foot over just like this, okay? So you want to put just a little bit of pressure there. Now, this could be a little bit of pain for some people, so you might want to pick something that's going to be just a little bit more squishy than a tennis ball. Now, there are 3 types of people that probably would need a doctor's clearance before they start this. One is a diabetic because they cannot feel their extremities due to neuropathy. Another one would be pregnant women. Right? Because if they're pressing on certain parts of their stomach, okay, they could, cut off the circulation to that fetus. And then the last one is people who have osteoporosis because they could press too hard on a bone and then they could actually cause more harm than good, okay? So if you do some of these stretches that I show you today, just try to keep that in mind if you are going to share this with somebody else. All right, magical people. Let's see, what was that one? That one over like this. And we are just going to roll back and forth. This is our soleus. Now, we don't want to be on the ankle. We want to be on the soleus. Now, what I would like for us to do, we're going to make a big circle going around. Big circle. So these are a little bit more affordable, and they also have a little bit more cushion, and so it is a little bit more attractive to somebody to purchase this. You know, a canister of tennis balls at Walmart costs about $5, or you can steal some from Miss Smith, all right? And then we're going to roll back and forth. We're going to do each of these 2 times today, and we're going to stay just on one side. All right, now we are going to go around in a circle again a couple of times. And then we're going to go around in the other direction a couple of times. And now we're going to roll back and forth. All right, so now we're going to go up to our calf. I'm just going to put my pants leg down. I was just trying to give you guys an example. We're going to cross this foot over for me, please. And we are going to be rolling back and forth. Now, ladies, if you wear high heel shoes, or guys, if you walk a lot, play a lot of sports, this could be really tight. All right, we're going to go back to that circle for me. So bring the circle around, bring the circle around. And now we're going to bring the circle around the other way. All right, now we're going to do toe slaps. We're going to bring the toes up and slap it down. Bring the toes up and slap it down. I'm seeing the faces. Woo! And roll back and forth. That one sneaks up on you with the toe slaps. Now you can go on the inside of the calf, the outside of the calf. It does not matter. So we're going to roll back and forth. And then we are going to circle. Good. And circle the other direction. And roll back and forth. All right, did we do the toe slaps yet? No, oh, we forgot those. One more time. All right. So we're gonna stand up for me and see if you kind of feel just a little bit different in that calf a little bit. We're gonna go do some downward dogs so you can kind of feel what the muscle feels like, all right? And if you want to come around and get the tennis balls, there you go. Let's go down into that downward dog because I want you to kind of see what that feels like in your calf. So we're going to come down here to our plank. So remember, when we do the plank, we want to have our shoulders directly over our hands, okay? We don't want to be out here like this. All right, so now we're going to tuck under our toes. We're going to bend our knees up and raise our hips up and just piddle paddle those feet for me. Piddle paddle those feet. And just see if that muscle on the one side that we stretched feels like maybe it can go down just a little further. All right, magical people, we're going to do the foot now. So we're going to be on the same side. Doesn't matter which side that you did, but we do want to stay on the same side. Now with this one, I like to count to 5, all right? Going all the way down from the heel, going towards the foot. Okay, so here we go. We're going to count to 5. So 1,001, 1,002, and I put about 80% of my body weight on that foot. 1,003, 1,004, 1,005, and come on back. Make sure that your toes are up and that they're not cupping over the tennis ball. I'm going to push that heel down, toes up, toes up. And if you're sweating just a little bit, okay, this is the parasympathetic nervous system that is a part of your nervous system that could be causing that. That's the fight or flight, okay? So you have the sympathetic, ooh, I'm scared and anxious, and then you have the parasympathetic, which allows you to kind of relax, okay? And so as we are relaxing, we probably start sweating at the beginning to activate the parasympathetic nervous system if the sympathetic gets too anxious. All right, now, did anybody feel like they were getting stabbed in the foot by a knife? Yes, then you're pushing hard enough. If you're kind of like this, okay, you're not really going to feel a whole lot. So you really want to put like 80% of your body weight on that tennis ball, okay? So let's just do one more time. Try to push it flat almost, okay? Push it flat almost and try to keep those toes up, soften in that knee. Remember, we don't want to lock out the knees. All right, so now we are going to do a little test. All right, the leg that we have used, and you know that you're doing it right if you kind of see a little discrepancy in either side. So we're going to stand on the leg that we have been working. And hop, 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 hop. Good. Okay, now we're going to do the other side. Did anybody notice any difference when we went to the other side? Which one was harder? The side we didn't do. Did anybody else experience that? What do you mean by harder?
It was like more tense. Like it was harder to put myself.
More tense, okay. It felt like that to you? So have you ever heard of the runner saying, I gotta run for like 5 minutes to warm up my body, okay? You can warm up your body by doing things like this. Now, if this again feels too intense for you, you can go and get like a squishy ball or something like that at the dollar store. Or you can even go, I think there's the toy company that has these little tiny balls, and you can use those, and you can find that at Friendly Center, okay? So what we are doing is we are warming up that fascia tissue, and the best way that I can describe it to people is your muscle is like the rubber band, all right? And this is 100%, and if we stretch out that muscle, it's gonna be 120%, and then we contract it, it's gonna be like 80%, right, of the distance that it takes up. Fascia is like this webbing that is over our muscles. And some of the research that I have been looking at, because I like watching stuff on Instagram and TikTok about how to do therapy exercises, that trauma is stored in the fascia. And if we don't heal some of that issue, or if we don't stretch through that issue, we can start having an imbalance in our body, whether that is I hunch over like this, or maybe I guard my heart because I don't want to be open so somebody can hurt it, okay? And as we do that, we create poor movement patterns in our body. So this is kind of breaking up that so that that muscle can expand the way that it should be. So as I have stated in class before, this side, all right, and it's from driving a lot, it's kind of crunched down like this, and this side is kind of long. Well, this is the side that hurts. So what I need to do is squeeze this and elongate that. So maybe incorporating some of these stretches on this side will help me kind of open that up just a little bit more. This is no different. So with our muscles in the fascia tissue, if you've got a muscle that is at 100%, and you're clapping your hands, right? So let's put our hands together at 100%. And we're like, bam, 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 all right? Now we're gonna bring our hands out at 120%, and bam. Okay, it feels like it just can't do as much because you're asking that muscle that's over here to do 120% of the work, while this one is only doing 80. So it would be like holding a set of groceries here and like, ooh, this is easy. I could do this all day long. Just look at how much I can lift with that bicep, right? But I'm not going through the whole range of motion, okay? So if I go through that whole range of motion, when I come down here and that muscle is stretched out, that's the hard part, okay? So we're trying to decrease the imbalances in our body by showing you how to stretch out through some of this fascia tissue so that the muscle can not be at 120% or 80%. It's actually going to be at 100%, okay? Hope that makes sense. All right, we're going to switch to the other side now that we know what to do. So we're going to go back to our soleus. So as we remember Miss Smith's story in the beginning, I hurt my back because of a tight soleus, and I hurt my back because of a tight psoas, and it had nothing to do with my low back. But that's where I felt the discomfort. And a lot of times we don't feel the discomfort where the pain is. We feel it on the opposite side. Antagonist, all right, there is a protagonist, right? Is that right? Where they have one is doing the work and one is trying to make it more difficult for that person, right? And we're going to push that foot around for me, big circle. And circle around the other direction. And we're rolling back and forth. All right, we're going to do this one more time. Circle around. And circle around the other way. And see, this is a whole lot faster to do than, oh, I got to run on the treadmill for 5 minutes to get warmed up. Okay, we can warm up this way. So if you feel like the tennis ball is too much for you, all right, especially like with the foot, try to get something else, because sometimes if you dig hard, like you will, relax, our body is going to eventually be like, I can't relax, right? And it's going to stay like this, and then you're going to create that pain to be even more. So listen to your body. If you can do things like this, do things like this. But if you feel like you need something a little bit softer, get something that's a little bit softer of a toy. All right, so now we're going to go up to our calf. We're going to cross our foot over, forth. And now we're going to circle around and circle the other way. And now here's the toe slaps, bringing them up and slap it down. Woo! Oh, and then we roll back and forth. All right, and now we circle around and circle around. And we roll back and forth. And now we'll do those toe slaps. Oh, is one side tighter than the other? Yes. All right. So now we're going to go to the foot. Now you can do these 2 to 4 times. It doesn't matter. All right. So you're going to push that heel down for me, please. And then go all the way from the ball of the foot to the arch of the foot, or the heel to the arch to the ball. And then make toes are up. And again, you want to have about 80% of your body weight there. And you want to hold those toes up if you feel like, your toes want to cheat a little bit. And come back. And when I went to go do this workshop to learn all this, I was all taped up, from the chiropractor. And they were like, we want you to be able to see the difference in, the side that you did and the side you didn't. Well, I was already in pain, right? I didn't want to be in more pain. So while they were showing the other side, I was doing the opposite side, because I was working a convention that week and moving all this equipment around. And I wanted to be able to do it without being in pain. All right, the next one we are going to do, we're moving up the leg. We're going to do the psoas. So the psoas, right, is this bone, your hip bone, and your belly button, and it's kind of in this little area right there, okay? Now, some people, they feel it up here higher. Some people feel it here and down below. If you have issues like with a hernia or something like that, please don't be pushing on that area. You should know if you have this or not, okay? And that would be another disclaimer if you want to share this information with others. All right, so we're going to lay on our stomach for me, and I want you to find that place. And now I will say, if you have on a jacket that's not form-fitting, the material could start wrapping around the tennis ball. So just be aware of that. You might want to pull it up just a little bit so you just have the flat surface of the your clothes against your body. All right, so we're going to find, it's a place you hinder a little bit, and sometimes it can be on this little crest, the iliac crest of the hip, and sometimes it can be a little closer to the groin. You just find. All right, so we're almost kind of in this plank position where we're relaxed, right, and we feel something kind of pushing. I want you to imagine that you are a superhero flying through the air. And we're going to pull our elbows in. And we're going to take that same foot where the tennis ball is, and we're going to drive that toe down as if we're standing up horizontally. And then we're going to reach our arm up. Woo. And come back down. All right, find another spot that's kind of tender We're going to do this 2 more times. Lay down as if you were a superhero flying through the air. And now we're going to pull ourselves forward. We're going to drive that foot down as if we're standing up horizontally. Then we're going to reach that same arm up. Oh, and come back down. We have 1 more to go. And you can go on maybe a different area. So anywhere between the belly button and the hip and the growing area, that little triangle. And then we're going to drive that toe down and reach that arm up. Ooh, and come back down. Now, if you are not used to this, you might feel a little bruised tomorrow, okay? I would not recommend, if you do feel like that you do this again, okay? Now, remember, if this is too much for you, go to the dollar store, get a little squishy ball that's a little bit more comfortable, and you can still do that. You can even get one of the balls that are in the closet that's smaller, okay, if you want to do that, just not the big yellow one. All right, so now we're going to do the other side. So finding that psoas. So the psoas is spelled S-P-O-A-S. And the P is silent. We're going to reach out just like psychology. And bring in the elbow, looking up towards the ceiling. Taking that foot, making it horizontal. Reaching the arm up. And come back down. Finding another area and relax down. And coming on up, looking up, driving that toe down, bringing the arm up. Woo! And come back down. All right, find another stretch or another position and just relax down. Allowing your hip to rest into the tennis ball. We're going to bring our elbows in. We're going to drive that toe down as if we're standing up horizontally and reach up. Now, if you feel enough and you're just like, ooh, that's enough right here, you don't have to do the arm. That's a little extra. All right. Now we are going to be on our glutes. So for this one, this could hurt. So, you might want to get one of the balls in the closet just in case, okay? But make sure it's the smaller one. We're going to sit on the tennis ball on one side. And we are going to just put all of our body weight on it, or as much as we can stand. And you'll feel a little, woo, that's tender. It could be on the outside, could be a little bit more on the inside, okay? All right, so mine's kind of right there. So when you find that tender spot, bring your knee into your chest. Ooh, straighten that leg out. Oh. And then we can just kind of move our leg back around and come back in. And then roll on a different spot. All right, you doing all right over there? All right, bringing that knee into your chest. Pushing that leg out. Ooh, and around different areas. Maybe you want to do like a little butterfly thing with your leg. All right. How did that feel?
Ouch.
Ouch. Yes. All right, we're going to take it to the other side. That definitely hurts from what we did on Monday. And then I did it again with another group this morning, those therapy exercises when we were sitting up on the block. All right, so we're going to rock on the ball, find a little tender spot for me, and you might notice one leg is more tight than the other. Bring that leg here and straighten it out. I want to bring that leg around. You can kind of butterfly it back and forth if you want to. All right, got one more to go. Believe it or not, there's more painful ones. Isn't this something to look forward to? Yay! Bring that knee in. Straighten that leg out. Good. And bringing that leg around. Good. And back and forth. And roll it on out. Woo! All right. So that is the glute. All right. We have the chest to do next. Now, with the chest originates here at the sternum, and then it connects kind of up here. and around, all right? And so you want to start where the muscle originates, and then we're going to kind of go out. Now you can do this while you are standing up. You can do this by putting the tennis ball against the wall. So if this was the wall and I have the tennis ball here, put my arm out and I just kind of rock and move my body against the wall. Now I'm going at a snail's pace, all right? We're not going whoo. So I want you to think about where the muscle originate, and we're pulling that muscle away. Now, a lot of people will have issues behind their shoulder blades. Does anybody get little knots back here between their shoulder blades? A lot of people do, all right? And that is because your back is overstretched and your chest is very tight, which looks like Miss Smith when she walks, okay? And so the pain coming from here because your shoulders are mad. And they keep telling you, pull your shoulders back, pull your shoulders back, pull your shoulders back. And then you don't pull your shoulders back. And it's like, well, I'm going to create this knot. And so she does keep her shoulders back, right? And so what we want to do is we want to open up that chest so we can kind of alleviate that. Now, if you have an overabundance of tissue here, okay, you can still feel this. If you have implants, you can still feel it. You just don't want to go on the implant, okay? You want to go above it. And, you know, we're all adults here. You don't want to go on the nipple line. That hurts. I mean, you can try it if you want to, but right here, I would just stay right in here and kind of go right under here. But most people are tight in this area. All right, so we're going to go down to the floor as if we are going to do a push-up. Have you ever seen, what is it, the CrossFit push-ups, where the hand release, where you go all the way down, hands come up, hands go down? It's kind of like that, okay? So we're in our push-up position. All right, and we're starting at our sternum. So we're going to put our hands out here like this. And I'm just going very slow. And if you feel a part that feels kind of stuck like this, okay, to kind of massage it a little bit, you can on that same side in different areas, okay? And for me, what I like to do is if I feel a little part that feels kind of stuck, I'm going to stay there for a little bit and I straighten out my arm as I'm rolling towards my armpit or rolling towards my shoulder. And then come back. Now, who's had a massage in this class before? Anybody? Massage? Who has had a massage? Ever had a massage? Okay. So for women, an off-limit area is the chest, okay? It's unethical to touch you there, but you can do a self-home massage by doing this. And if this is too painful for you, okay, then use something that's a little bit less dense, all right, and come back, because you will feel bruised here tomorrow, I promise you, because it's an off-limit place. Okay, so let's do this one more time if you haven't already. So this is our third one, if you've been going with me. If not, take a big breath. Try to breathe through the painful spots. And if you find it, all right, maybe you can go back and forth through it as if you had a tangle in your hair and you're like trying to pull it out, right, like that. Or you can keep your arm at a different area as you come around and bring the tennis ball under the shoulder and the armpit. All right. Now let's just sit here for a minute. I want to see if you feel this side is kind of down a little bit. I feel it. I don't even know what it looks like, but I feel that this is a little bit more relaxed, okay? So now we're going to do this side, and then we're going to do ones that, if you have a crick in your neck, and I'll explain that one in a minute. All right, so let's bring the tennis ball to the other side. All right, so we are basically trying to work the intrinsic muscle fibers that are gluing your shoulder blade to your back, okay? Because you can't touch it, you know, the only way to touch it is through the chest wall. And down, nice and slow. And if you find a sticky point again, to zigzag it back and forth. Oh. And bringing your arms out. Yoga is gonna feel good today after we beat ourselves up with this tennis ball. All right, I'm gonna make sure that we're breathing for me. Breathing into it. So remember, this is activating your nervous system. The sympathetic is alerting you like, don't do that. It's time to run. And then the parasympathetic was like, oh, you're fine. All right, it's just a new movement. It's just a new way to stretch, new way to activate the muscle. But sometimes it can make us sweat because we're anxious about what's gonna happen. It's gonna hurt. Well, it's not gonna hurt. You just get up out of the stretch, right? Breathing through it. And again, zigzagging back and forth if you need to, and going all the way to your armpit. All right, so who has ever woken up with a crick in their neck? No. When did you notice it? What were you doing?
I was turning my head, and all of a sudden, I couldn't turn it without it really hurting.
Uh-huh.
I didn't have a crook in my neck, but I pulled a muscle, and I couldn't turn my head at all.
Oh, wow.
It was really bad.
I've done that many a times, and it's just because, let me go exercise, and, I get all warmed up, and then I don't feel any pain anymore. And then as soon as I take that microphone off, that's when the pain insinuates again, all right? But it also comes from us doing text neck, okay? Like this. This is like a bowling ball, and you're like this. So the muscle here is under the clavicle bone. Let me take this necklace off. So we don't want to go above the clavicle bone because that's not going to feel too good when we start digging in there. So we're going to take the tennis ball, and if you feel like this little bony process that goes like that. Now, if you've broken your collarbone before, let's start on the side that we have not, okay? Just so you can kind of feel what it feels like. And you want to take both of the tennis ball, you want to take both your hands on the tennis ball, and you want to go under the clavicle bone and hold the tennis ball as you press in and down. Now, you can feel this just by doing it like this, pushing down. Okay? But you can also do it laying down. Now, when you do this one, when I say pull your face away as one unit from the floor, if this was the floor, okay, that does not mean look like that. That's not one unit, because now my eyes are up and my face is down, or my chin is down. We want to come up as one unit like this, okay, where your eyes and your nose and your mouth come away at the same time. All right, so that's what I mean when you got to lift your face up. All right, so now we're going to cup the tennis ball. We're going to find that clavicle bone. We're going to pull the muscle down. So let's do this with Miss Smith. We're going to lay down for me and I'm trying to put all my body weight. So if you look up here for a second, what I'm doing, all right, is I kind of angled my body over to where I'm putting more pressure on the tennis ball itself, okay? All right, so I'm holding it there. I'm pulling the muscle away from the clavicle. I pull my face away as one unit. Turn your face to one side. Come back. Turn your face to the other side. And come back. All right, we're going to do that again. Find that clavicle bone. Take the tennis ball. Pull the muscles away. All right. And now we're going to lay on the tennis ball. I try to put a little bit more pressure of my body on the tennis ball. You'll feel it when you do that. Pull your face away as one unit. Turn your head to one side. Come back to the center. Turn it to the other side. Come back to the center and relax. All right, now again, you can do that one as you are sitting there. You don't have to lay on it unless you want to get a little bit more into it. Okay, so now we're going to do it on the other side. I'm going to take the tennis ball for me. I'm going to pull the muscle away from the clavicle. All right, and our face is facing down. We're going to pull our face away as one unit. Turn your head to one side. Turn it to the other side. and come down. All right, one more time for me. Find another tender spot. And you want to put a little bit more pressure of your body onto the tennis ball. You might feel that really in your shoulder blades on the opposite side where that muscle's trying to relax. Take your face away from the floor. Turn to one side. Come back, turn to the other side. Now, again, we're only doing 2 today, but, I could definitely stay there for a little bit longer, okay? Because this is the side that it's all jacked up, all right? So now what we are going to do, we are going to take both of the tennis balls and we are going to put them into the sock. Now, we are not going to be playing Homie the Clown. All right, am I dating myself? Anybody remember In Living Color? We don't play that. Anyway, it was Damon Wayans on this show In Living Color, and he played Homie the Clown. Okay. Fun fact, right? They put that in the useless knowledge category in our brain. So you want to make this look like a little peanut shape, like that, okay, like the number 8. And this is where we are going to roll on our spine. And see how your spine can kind of relax in here a little bit more versus if we're rolling on that foam roller. Now, again, if this is too much for you and it's causing you to hold your breath and you're not, go get something else that's a little bit more fun, okay? This is why we, did the balls in the beginning of class last week. So we're going to make this little knot like that, and you want to make it tight enough to where the tennis ball has a little bit of movement but doesn't have so much movement, and don't make it so tight because you have to take this apart, okay? So let's start with the legs first, okay? Because that one is the one that hurts the most. So we're going to start with the quadricep. So the quadricep, we're going to go from your knee up to about halfway. All right, so it's going to look like this. We're going to divide it into 3 quadrants. You have your knee to the middle of the thigh, knee to the middle of the thigh. So you're basically trying to do a plank when we're doing this, okay? When we get to this area, we're going to zigzag that foot back and forth like a floss. And then we're going to bring that foot back and bring the foot back. All right, so here we go. And I would recommend being in the center of your mat so that if you roll too far one way or too far the other way, you're not going to fall off. So we're going to start at the knee. You do not want to be on the kneecap. You want to be above the kneecap. So again, you want to press, but don't press so hard that it's causing you to, hold your breath. All right, here we go. So we're in our plank position and we're going to roll back halfway, roll back to the knee, roll back halfway, roll back to the knee. We're going to stay one more time. Roll back halfway, stay back. We're going to bring that foot to our butt. 1, and 2. All right, we're going to go up to the middle part of the thigh. This one is a little bit more painful. Here we go. So we're going to roll up to the middle part of the thigh, just the middle, and then go back to where we were. Roll up to the middle part of the thigh, go back to where we were. You have one more to go. One more, stay right here. Zigzag back and forth. We're going to bring that foot to our butt. 1, oh my goodness, and 2. Now we're going from the middle part to your hip flexor, right here, that part that creases. So going to the hip flexor, coming back to the middle of the thigh. Going to the hip flexor, going back to the middle of the thigh. Last one, stay right there. We are in that crease or somewhere around it. Zigzag back and forth. Bringing that foot up. 1 and 2. Okay. Oh my goodness. All right, so let's kind of massage that leg a little bit, getting some of that blood flow going. Was anybody in such excruciating pain that you felt like, I can't do this and I'm holding my breath?
Not such excruciating pain.
But you felt it, right? So if you have on like billowy clothes, that material can get wrapped around it, okay? So, maybe this, maybe a little more tight on or something, or not have on billowy pants. All right, so we're going to do the other side for me. All right. So here we go. We're going to roll up halfway and roll back. Roll up halfway and roll back. This is our last one. Roll up, stay right there. We're going to zigzag back and forth. Oh, one more time. All right. Now we're at the middle part. Here we go. Middle part and come back. Middle part. This is kind of like doing a plank too, going back and forth and come back. Stay right there. Zigzag back and forth. We're going to bring that foot up. 1 and 2. This is our very, very last one. So we're going mid-thigh up. Whoo! Mid-thigh and up. And stay right there. Zigzag back and forth at the hip flexor or there around. And foot comes up. 1 and 2. All right. Now, if that didn't hurt, the next one will. Are we excited? Yay! Yay! Okay, well, we get to end with the back, okay? And with the back, sometimes this can be too much, so I would recommend getting one of those balls in the back. All right. So, who in the class thinks that they are sexy? Okay, we're going to do the sexy pose. So I want you to put one leg out, and we're going to put the other leg in front like that. Okay, so all you're doing, you're just laying down, and I just came up like a mermaid, okay, like that. Now, we're going to take the tennis ball, and we're going to lay on our side right here. Okay, now, before we get started, because I know we're excited about being in pain, okay, look at this foot. It stays there. Look at this leg. It stays there. This is not it. That don't look sexy. This definitely don't look sexy, okay? So we're going one leg out right there. All right, so we're at the top of the hip, and then we go halfway down. Woo! Go back to the hip. Keep that foot there. Straight. Breathe for me. Breathe. Don't hold your breath. Find a tender spot and zigzag back and forth for me. Woo! All right, now we're at the middle part of the leg. You can do hard things. Come on. You can do hard things. Don't hold your breath. Don't fall over. We can do it. You guys look good. Good. All right, and zigzag back and forth. All right, one more time. One more time. Here we go to the outside of the knee. Don't roll on the outside of the knee. It's almost to the knee, though. Almost to the top of that kneecap where we were before when we did the one at the quad. Good. And zigzag back and come back. Now, with this one, you could, all right, bring that foot back. Bring that foot back. Sometimes I do it. Sometimes I don't. You feeling all right over there? All right, you waking up? We don't need coffee. We got tennis ball stretches, folks. Yeah, we don't need an alarm to violently wake us up in the morning. We have this. Okay, this can violently wake us up too. All right, we got the other side to do. Yeah, that's smart. Look, get one of those if you need to, if it's too much. So this is kind of, I still use this, but one of the therapists that I go to tells me not to do it, okay?
Thanks.
But I have seen relief from it, okay? But this is why she tells me that. She said, and this is why I told you to get that ball. Your body is gelatinous, right? And so this would be like trying to put a spoon into the gelatinous and trying to make it be the way it wants to be, right? But I do feel relief from this. I just won't do it every day, right? But if I'm really in pain, I'm like, you know what? This makes me feel good for right now, and I'm going to do it. But there was a time doing this almost every week, okay? And it made me feel better. But if you feel like your tissue can't take that, and this is too much, right? And that was like, that hurt way too much. I don't feel relief, okay? Start something that's softer, all right? That's why we have the dollar store. That's why we have other types of, squishy type devices. So look up online if you did like this today and try to find a modality that works for you. But tennis balls is a good place to start. And it's cheap, $5 for a canister, or at least it used to be at Walmart for $3. And the socks should be free. You're just waiting for a match, right? All right, so here we go. We got our sexy pose. It's time to get sexy. Cross that leg over. All right, here we go. So we roll halfway down and up. Halfway down and up. Halfway down and up. Try to find a tender spot and zigzag back and forth. So if you want to, we could bring that foot up and come back. That would be an option, but that is a little awkward. And we're going to bring it down halfway. We're almost there, folks. And then we get to lay on our back. Yay! And zigzag back and forth. One more time. Here we go from the mid-thigh to the side of the knee. Now, you do have to have some upper body strength, okay, because I am lifting myself up as I do this. Zigzag back and forth. Oh, my goodness. Okay, so now go get one of those balls if you want to from the closet, or you can use the tennis ball, either one. All right, so you certainly could do something like this, you know, with your soleus. You're not going to feel it as much, all right? But again, some of it is just about the movement itself. And I still felt that underneath my calf. I still felt it. Okay, so what we are going to do, there's a few things that we're going to be doing for our back. You know, you can open up your arms, you can bring your arms around, kind of like a butterfly. I like to hug myself, and then I rock back and forth, and I go up and down. Okay, so those are the three movements again. So we're going to hug ourselves, rock back and forth, and then go up and down. Now, the different places we're going to go from the kidney or the low back to the kidney area, from the kidney to the bottom part of the rib cage, bottom part of the rib cage to the shoulder blades. We're going to get full of the shoulder blades, all right? Shoulder blades is tough. Now, when we get to the shoulder blades, some people, they're like, I can't do any more than what I'm doing. If you feel like you can, put your hands beside your ears. Going to bring your elbows together, and that separates your shoulder blades so you can get into the shoulder blades a little bit more. And then by the time we get to the neck, if you've had some neck issues, try it or not, you know, I mean, see it could be better, okay? All right, so if you've had back surgeries, you know, just kind of hang out while I do this because I don't want you to hurt yourself without a doctor's clearance. Okay, so we're going to go from our low back and then come up. So it's our low back to like the kidney. Now you can start at the neck and work down. You know, it doesn't matter. Now I'm just going to lay on the tennis balls or lay on my ball. I have my arms out to the side. I'm going to give myself a big hug. I'm going to rock back and forth. All right, so now we are rolling from our kidneys up to the bottom part of our rib cage. Come back, and I like to hold on to the side of my mat for dear life. No, I'm just picking just for as like a helper, where it kind of helps me slide and guide myself. And when you find a tender spot, just kind of relax there for a second. And you can keep your knees bent, or you can let your legs out straight, bring your arms out. And give yourself a big hug and rock back and forth. All right, so now we're going to go to the bottom of the rib cage. Now, as you get there, I like to support my head as I go down. And again, if that's too much, just raise up a little bit. The more you lay down, the more it's going to be on there of your body. And so if you kind of come up a little bit, you don't have to put as much pressure of your back on the ball. So now that we are laying at a tender spot right below our shoulder blades, I want us to bring our hands out. And then bring your hands around and rock back and forth. All right, so now we are only where the shoulder blades are. I want you to put your hands, again, this is secondary, above your ear. Bring your elbows together to where the muscles separate from shoulder blades in the back, and we're going to roll through the shoulder blades. Woo! Now again, if that's too much, you're like, oh, I can't do that. All right, find a tender spot and just stay there. Open up. Breathe for me. Give yourself a big old hug. All right, so now we're going to go from the shoulder blades all the way up to the neck area. So all the way up to the neck area, and then go back to where you were. All the way to the neck area, and go back to where you were. Again, if this is too much and too much for you, just get something that is a little bit less dense and relax down on a comfortable spot or uncomfortable spot. Give yourself a big hug and rock back and forth. All right. Who feels like a marshmallow? Me. All right. So this is your point therapy, and I hope you like the class. Yay.